Yeah, I like this Batum thing for the Clippers. I like that move for them. I like. I think that. I mean, it's not a statement move. The
Okay.
Lakers have gotten better, and essentially that's obviously what we're talking about with LA. With at any time now, you got to compare the two teams and where they're at. The Lakers have gotten like I'm at a point, bro, where like I don't know if they've gotten better. I just feel like they're well, no, they've gotten better. They got better because Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell. Like, remember the Lakers just won almost on playing bigs. Like people
Yeah.
are talking about this transition to playing big again, and like their two best players are 6'9" and above. And
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, their second best player, is a big man. So they just got more size. Like they're what made them overwhelming was their size, bro. That Kuzma's over 6'6". Even Rondo was like a lengthy, strong guard. Like they have size across the board. That's what to me when I looked at them, that's what made them so tough to handle. And now they have more size and skill. It's not just size, it's skill that they added. So Wesley Matthews at the guard position, you kind of got a different kind of Danny Green character in there. So I feel like they kind of got more of the same, but overall, like if you look at the pieces and the skill and the size, they're better. The Clippers still have a way to go to match up to that. I just feel like adding a Batum on the wing to really help to add more intangibles to what like Paul George and Kawhi do as just like the
Yeah.
talent. I feel like that's a really good move for them.
I mean, I just feel like before I get into the Batum thing, as far as Los Angeles is concerned, I do think that the Lakers, I do think that they're better. I do think that they're more skilled. A lot of people feel like losing Rondo loses like that veteran voice that was able to keep LeBron in line. But Marc Gasol is well known around the league for being that type of presence, especially on defense. I do think that their rim protection is less right now because you lost Dwight and JaVale McGee. So like while they're still big, that's a lot of rim protection to lose, and especially being that AD likely won't be playing the five in the regular season, you have to start Gasol, right? So then at this point, coming off your bench, you got Macho Harrell. So I do think one more lengthy body just to round it out. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they can convince Powell out of retirement for a 1 year flyer or whatever the case may be. But I think that's something that they are going to have to address. Now the Batum thing, I like what the Clippers did. I feel like the Clippers did what they could do for this offseason. So they re-signed Marcus Morris. They got Batum. They signed Ibaka to me, which was one of my favorite signings. 2 years, 19 million is absolutely fantastic. To me, he's a better fit for their system than Montreal Harrell. He could stretch the floor. He gives you a defender, and that's a presence that they sorely needed last year, particularly against Denver. So I love that. And then they trade for Luke Kennard, so that gives them a little bit more shooting. At the end of the day, though,
I didn't see that. I didn't know they traded for Kennard.
yeah, very, very shrewd, underrated move. Like I like that a lot. Now Batum, a lot of people talk about the contract, and when you talk about guys who have been like overpaid, a lot of time that takes away from like what they specifically do on the floor. Batum's only 31 years old. And I say only 31 because it's not like he's not in his like specific like prime or whatever, but he's not over the hill.
He turns 32 like soon. I think I saw he turns 32 in like 2 weeks or something.
Right. And then he only played 22 games last season, but that's because he was dealing with a finger injury. But at the end of the day, what he does bring to the table is somebody who could potentially stretch the floor if he could go back to shooting the way he's supposed to. And that finger injury is not going to sap his athleticism or anything like that. And I never want to underrate the effect of guys going from a situation like Charlotte to potentially competing for a championship. So I like the way that he could potentially slot in there in Los Angeles. They still have a couple of other holes to fix on their roster. I think they need a little bit more size as well. And they need something else at guard. Yeah, they need something else at point guard.
You got Lou Williams, you have got, but and they're saying that he might be up
That he might be out, yeah.
For deals for him. So and when I say they need guard play, the kind of guard play I think they need is like strong, heady guard play. They need like a Chauncey Billups, someone who can get the bucket, but who's also trying to run the offense. I think that's what kind of, Kawhi obviously had it all in San Antonio. That was the ideal situation from top to bottom. But the kind of point guard Tony Parker was, who's obviously a Hall of Famer, all-time great, but
yeah,
not most people's favorite point guard and the one that most people are talking about, right? But he was
Yeah.
extremely effective, a finals MVP, all of that. I mean, he was cooking all of your favorite players at one point. But he kind of slid under the radar. He didn't have to be, and that was a version of Kawhi that wasn't the one that we're seeing now too. So
Yeah.
I just like, again, you're looking at Kawhi, Paul George, guys that can bring the ball up, the handle the ball. So it's like the point guard position can become a little obsolete when you have guys like LeBron, KD, who can handle the ball, bring it, like, you kind of don't need a point guard. But if you're looking for the right kind of guard play, again, you want shooting, you want playmaking, you want guys that can kind of just get things going.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kawhi had, Tony Parker, who you discussed, like, probably a little under the radar as far as like elite point guards go. And then you could argue Kyle Lowry's kind of the same way. Not that Kyle Lowry is Tony Parker, but that's another smart point guard that enabled Kawhi to play off of the ball, which I feel like he enjoys a little bit more than just kind of like dominating the ball at the top, trying to hunt for a shot all the time. So like he's always had, when he's been successful, smart guard play, at the top. So that's something that they need to continue to go ahead and seek. And at the end of the day, they can move around as many ancillary parts as they want. That was Kawhi and Paul George that missed all those big shots down the stretch, and like, I'm not going to bash Kawhi as much, because to me, that was his first time, in my opinion, looking human on the big stage. I think elite players of that caliber bounce back from that. I don't know what's going on with Paul George. I think I'm a little higher on him than a lot of other people still. I think he's going to come back and play well. But like at the end of the day, like, they had a moment that they didn't step up and deliver. So like all the pieces they just got, they will help. Batum can potentially help. Ibaka will help. But those guys, they're going to have to deliver, because AD and LeBron will.
Yeah, and they got deeper and better.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to say definitively like they're better overall, but when you just look at individually what they added plus what you already, LeBron and AD as the cornerstones is gonna, you're in the conversation no matter. Yeah, we are for the next 2 years. So as long, you fill in with your, we saw it in Miami, we saw it, wherever LeBron goes, like, any star really, but especially LeBron, the right people around, with another star, obviously another 2 stars in some cases, but it's that they're going to be who they are for the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if they're, like I said, we traded off rim protection a little bit down there with the Lakers, but what they get in return, younger, faster, more defensively versatile. To me, their biggest question heading into the playoffs last year was, when LeBron sits, how does the offense continue? I think you answer that, because now you have the 6th man of the year and the runner-up 6th man of the year potentially coming off your bench. So like those points are going to be accounted for. So as long as they still find a way to defend the rim, by all accounts, I think they may be a more lethal team this year.